Hey YouTubers, welcome back to yet another episode of Miniature Mashup. Hey, do you dig these groovy cool doors I've made? Pretty neat, huh? They open and close. They're a good size for 28mm miniatures. You know what? They actually come from Buttwipes. Yeah, there's a conversation that happens in Deadpool 2, and I back that 100%, guys. When you get to the age of 40, if you're still wiping with dry paper, your O-ring is going to look like Rocky Balboa's eye at the end of Rocky 2. If you're going to buy these, get the ones with the plastic poured on them. Some of them just are this sort of light plastic wrap all the way around, and they're not going to give you these neat doors. You see, these doors...
Now, I am making your silver pants blue.
I've got two different packs here. One is CVS baby wipes. They're blue and white. And we're just going to rip this port right off of here, separate it from the plastic. It comes off pretty easy. No muss, no fuss. Just busts off, and we'll throw the plastic wrapper out. And this other one is some other brand with kind of a kookier door, but it's still got the port on it, and we'll do a slightly different door with this one as well. On the CVS, we're going to need to take that sticker off, and it comes right off, no problem, no issue at all. And we're going to measure and get the middle of this puppy, try to get it as exact as possible so we can make two even doors. If they're in the same room together, they'll look good next to each other. There won't be a big difference in height. Not that that's a huge difference, but it's important to do. And then I'm just going to cut it all the way across with my thick wire cutters, and here we are, and you can see it's cut in the middle. It still kind of opens, but we are going to separate the door from the doorway by cutting that apart with our wire cutters and just trim it down. There's little bits hanging off here that don't quite look door-like, little flaps for opening the thing. We're just going to take those off with our wire cutters. We're going to cut the doors right down the middle as well, try to measure that out, and again, I'm just doing everything with my plastic wire cutters. Some of this plastic can break in kind of a jaggedy fashion, so just watch your fingers when you're doing this. I will take a safety knife and trim any wild bits off. Now I'm going to take a little E6000, my favorite glue of putting metal and plastic together, and I'm going to put it on a couple of pennies. You've seen me do this before with miniatures, and yeah, that's our base for our archway, is 2 pennies. I did one with woodsies, which were little round wood cutouts, and I used hot glue for the other one, so that works as well. Now for the doors themselves, I've got some coffee stirrers here. You don't have to go as thin on the base as I did, but to me it gives it a nice aesthetic. I don't like having a big base under my door, but it does make them less stable, so you can certainly use popsicle sticks and just hot glue them to the bottom of the door, like so. And you want to give them a base so they can stand up on their own. Like I said, with the thinner that base is, the less they'll stand up. They stand up a little better once you dip that base into some sand, some craft sand. As you see, they don't stand up at all here on the carpet, but once I put them onto some styrofoam, they stand up pretty good. As long as it's a nice even surface, they're good to go. And here they are. You can see it's really quite nice. These doors can provide cover. You can open them up partially. They're really neat. Alright, and here's how we treat the base, with a little white PVA glue and then a dip into our craft stand. Just dip that in there. Still got plenty of this stuff left, and shake off the excess, and we're going to do it again on the other side. Now, here is the other brand of butt wipes, and this is the one that was green and had the frog on it. Now this has a different kind of door, so I didn't go for a door on this one because it would have required a lot of work sort of putting that together, at least more than I was willing to put in. I've already made 2 archways with doors out of just one package of these things, so let's do something different here. I'm just going to cut this down and then cut it evenly on both sides here to sort of trim it out and take the sides, and yeah, they line up pretty nicely. We're just going to hot glue that together and then hot glue it onto a base, and we've got an archway. That's a fine door. Doors don't always have to have actual doors in them. They can just be archways, and since this is all going to be metal and stone, we're going to black bomb it with our dollar store black primer here, just keeping the whole thing nice and cheap. Don't want to spend a lot of money on it. And here they are painted up. I think they look pretty great. Guys, next week I got a pretty exciting project coming up. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Bye.